The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Burkina Faso Abroad has come to provide us with more information about the procedure for obtaining an American visa for Burkina Faso citizens, following information circulating on social media, which reports a new decision made by the American authorities. Good evening, Mr. Minister.
Good evening, Ms. Kelly.
So according to this information circulating on social media, we learned that Burkina Faso citizens applying for American visas will now have to go to Lomé in Togo for the formalities. Can you confirm this?
So I must say that it was with surprise indeed that we received this very evening a verbal note from the United States Embassy in Ouagadougou, which actually confirmed this rumor that had so far been circulating on social media. Officially, the primary reason explicitly stated in this formal verbal note is that the nation of Burkina Faso, much like several other African countries across the continent, is currently included on a specific list of states whose respective nationals have unfortunately not fully complied with the established and clearly defined rules and regulations regarding proper visa usage and adherence to immigration policies. This concerns tourist visas as well as student visas. And so, in this particular regard, the United States Embassy has, let's say, acted quite promptly and efficiently to fully implement this temporary suspension of issuing tourist and student visas to all Burkina Faso citizens, who will now be specifically required to travel to their embassy in the neighboring country of Togo to officially obtain these essential travel documents. The official note, of which I have a copy, also specifies that the procedures will have to be restarted, not only for registration but also for payment, in order to obtain these visas at the United States Embassy in Togo. So this serves to confirm that what had until now been considered a rumor has been confirmed by the United States diplomatic mission here in Burkina Faso. Now, I have mentioned these reasons as the official motives. It turns out that the official note we received contains suggestions and refers to an agreement that the United States has been trying to propose to the Burkinabe side since the Trump administration took office. As soon as this administration began, the embassy approached us to make this proposal as part of the implementation of American migration policy. What was it about? It was about offering African states that wished to participate, since they are in a process of identifying and expelling nationals who live in the United States and who are not in compliance with their residency status, to expel them. The proposal that was made was to see if Burkina Faso, aside from our own nationals, was willing to receive other people who would be expelled by the United States. Naturally, this proposal, which we considered at the time to be indecent, is completely contrary to the value of dignity that is at the very core of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's vision. We said that Burkina Faso could not be that destination. After that, we had several meetings, always along the same lines. It became quite clear that they were absolutely insistent on us accepting this particular measure. With the official adoption of the decree making visas entirely free of charge, they came back to us again saying, "We clearly see that there is indeed a strong Pan-African spirit. And since these visas are now completely free, are you truly willing to receive all non-Burkinabe nationals who genuinely wish to travel to Burkina Faso?" Our response was quite clear. Any African national who wishes to come freely to Burkina Faso and pays for their own ticket is welcome here in Faso. If they decide on their own, buy their ticket, and are given a free visa, they can come to Burkina Faso. As for nationals who are being forced to choose a destination, because we are a country with free visas, we do not want to become a destination for deportation. This vision was quite clear. Burkina Faso is a destination. Burkina Faso is not a land of deportation. And we made this clear by saying that the decision of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, which was to offer hospitality to all Africans, should not be seen as an opportunity for a third country to get rid of certain populations that it considers undesirable. We are indeed leaving behind a truly welcoming land, a land that is openly accessible to all Africans as long as they make the conscious decision to come of their very own free will. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with the United States Embassy. During that meeting, we once again discussed this issue. It was the umpteenth time we had discussed it, because when I was at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, I had a conversation with the Undersecretary of State in charge of this issue, who once again brought up the possibility of offering us free visas as an incentive. We repeated the same thing. So it's curious whether it's the repeated confirmation of our refusal to accept undesirable nationals, or the fact of considering our country as a land for deportation, which is both unworthy and indecent, or the fact that this decision was made immediately afterwards. So you can understand with me that the connection is quickly made. Is this a form of pressure? Is this blackmail? In any case, it is important to clarify that in the vision of the Popular Revolution of Burkina Faso, this is a land of dignity, and Burkina Faso will remain a land of dignity, a destination, and not a land of deportation.
So, Mr. Minister, precisely, we have learned about the upcoming visit at the end of October of Afro-descendants to Burkina Faso, or rather to Burkina Faso. Is this visit connected to the decision that has just been made by the American authorities?
I would clearly say no. And as you may know, we were surprised by this measure, which came suddenly after our categorical refusal to receive people who are considered undesirable. This is not to label them as undesirable people. It's related to the fact that the current government's policy unfortunately sees every foreign national as a threat, which is very serious. And that's what we repeated to the American representatives, that among these people, there are many Africans, many Latin Americans, many non-Americans who live there, who have sacrificed their lives and contributed to building peace and the economy of the United States. They have done every kind of job there is. They have cleaned out the sewers, they have swept the streets, they have taken care of the elderly in nursing homes. They have worked in all kinds of services to provide Americans with a decent life. These people are now being labeled as undesirable because they entered the country illegally. It is, of course, a sovereign measure. It is, of course, a sovereign measure, but this measure does not be, let's say, the main reason for simply picking random destinations in Africa and dropping them off there. So, to return to the question of Afro-descendants, the Afro-descendants who wish to come to Burkina Faso are brothers and sisters who want to reconnect with their own history, to embark on a journey of self-discovery. They have seen in Burkina Faso a land with which they identify. They come here out of love, and many of them wish to settle in Burkina. I should point out that many expect to acquire Burkinabe nationality, and we are working on preparing for this stay. So these people come freely. These are not people who are being forced to choose a destination. Do not confuse the two. It is not the same thing. And anyone who decides to come freely, who is not forced to stay within an area defined by a third-party state, or told, you must leave, here is a list of countries from which you must choose your destination. These people can come here without worry. So these are two different things, and we will always work to remain a welcoming land for all these people. But as I said, we are not a land of deportation. So it's quite clear. And I want to reassure our Afro-descendant brothers and sisters who are planning to visit Burkina Faso that they will always be at home here, and that we will take measures to ensure they truly feel African, that they feel they are on a land of dignity.
So, Mr. Minister, in light of the decision we're discussing tonight, this decision by the American authorities, how do you see the future of cooperation between Burkina Faso and the United States?
Burkina Faso has always been very open to constructive dialogue. The new approach, which has been brought about by the revolution, and indeed by popular progress today, is to truly emphasize the crucial aspect of mutual respect and understanding. We will maintain good relations with all states that respect us as human beings, with all states that respect our dignity. Naturally, the measure that has been taken would not leave us indifferent. And leave us indifferent. In diplomacy, we speak of reciprocity. We will take the necessary measures up to the extent of those taken by the American authorities without compromising the friendship, solidarity and brotherhood between the people of Burkina Faso and the American people. Because we must not confuse things. There is a sympathy between communities, between populations who want to work together, but who often find themselves in spaces where authority creates limits or walls that separate them. So this is to reassure you that we remain an open land, a truly welcoming and accessible nation. We are still a country of open dialogue, a country that genuinely wishes to establish and carefully nurture strong, lasting relationships with all countries that truly respect us and our sovereignty.
Thank you very much, Mr. the Minister in charge of Foreign Affairs. I would like to remind everyone that you came to provide us with information about this decision and about the American authorities who are inviting Burkinabe citizens to go to Togo to obtain a US visa. Thank you for staying with us for the rest of the program.